Well, it's been a rough month for famous YouTuber Shane Dawson, and I have to admit I am not here to help matters. Last week we went behind the scenes of his feature film Not Cool that he directed and starred in 2014. And by popular demand, today we're gonna look at the film itself. Yup, I just watched this movie for the second and hopefully final time of my life. I feel like I just crawled out of a septic tank. Carol Baskin Realness. I've cut down this movie into just the pertinent clips that tell you a little bit more about Shane's flawed storytelling style, and maybe we'll pull out some funny moments that made me sick and puke, but edited in such a way so that it's tasteful and classy. Like me, I have an aloe plant here. Nature. Stay tuned, because today we're diving into the worst movie that I think I've ever seen in my entire life. It's called Not Cool, and it is not cool. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another clip breakdown. You know I love to do it. Last week we looked at the 2014 reality show The Chair, which Shane Dawson featured in, and if you're back from that video, it's so good to see you. Thanks for coming back. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more clip breakdowns on your favorite creators. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right down there. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so turn on post notifications and you will never miss them. So, like I said, in research for my last video, I had already watched Not Cool, and basically right afterwards, I felt sick. Like I actually started to get strep throat. And I don't think that the movie literally put the streptococcal bacteria in my body and made it incubate. I'm not crazy, but I do know that this movie weakened my immune system by exposing me to garbage. It's like if you sat in a garbage can and just breathed deep every morning, you're eventually gonna get some microbes on you. This is what happened. So today I cut it down into, let's see, lots of clips. Oh god, so many clips. I spent all day looking over this movie. You know, there's no story. The editing is shoddy, done by Shane himself for the most part. There's a couple actors that stand out, but it's almost all eclipsed by Shane's terrible acting as the lead role, as well as 2 smaller roles. There are so many cringy moments in this where I'm just like, no, do it again, better. So let's just get into it. But I will say you can check out this movie and all of The Chair on Amazon. I'll put my affiliate links in the description below. Check out my other clip breakdowns if you're new here. You'll love it. We start hearing our main character, Tori. She's giving a voiceover while she's at this Thanksgiving party. And I guess the idea here is everybody's posting something different than what they're actually doing. Like the guy saying, I like dark meat on a turkey, but really he's dancing with a black woman. Right off the bat, there's text on screen that's problematic and not what I would put in my movie as like a joke. But hey, other things like this girl is having group sex. I can't say group sex. This is gonna get demonetized. That girl's having a intimate party in a bedroom. These gay guys are kissing, but he's tweeting about having a girlfriend, and the larger woman photoshops herself into being thinner and says #NoFilter. Just some examples of stuff that's really hard to catch in that first scene. And I remember it took them all day to shoot this like tracking shot going through the house just for this opening where they're like showing that teenagers are at a party lying online. Then we finally land on Tori, our main character. She's definitely not fully fleshed out, but it doesn't matter because we did that whole opening shot and then she gets puked on. That's supposed to be like the start of the movie. Then it goes into her backstory via Facebook pictures.
Tori Gillespie. Needless to say, high school sucked. But here's the thing about high school, it ends.
It's just like a bunch of Facebook pictures being like, I was a loser. They called her Tori the Hoary, ironically because she was a nerd who did not have a lot of intimate experiences. They are swearing every line. Like Shane just really thought the more curses you add, the more funny it is, and it's actually just adding time. So Tori says she was Tori the Hoary in high school, but then she went to college and nobody knew that she was this freaky weirdo. And she made these new friends, but now she has to come back. Oh, it shows her gay BF, which he comes up in this movie, but only in an afterthought type of way. So she's like, oh, I finally came out of my shell in college, but I guess I have to go back for Thanksgiving. She's like all down about it, which brings us to our first clip.
Look at my sign!
Wanna switch lives?
I have some huge news.
Oh, what, my train crashed and I'm actually in hell right now?
So as you can see, Tori's one of those girls who watched Daria a lot, which was me, by the way, fully me. I loved Daria and I was like, I'm this person. But she just has like the Wednesday Addams things to say all the time. People will be like, oh, I like your suit. And she's like, oh, you mean the one that I want to kill myself in? And it's like, yeah, that's the one. So we get it. Like, we've seen this trope before. Her family is super upbeat and peppy, and she's like, you know, wears black and has straightened hair. Also, her sister in the film is played by real life Shane's girlfriend at the time, Liza or Lisa. I know I'm gonna mess up someone's name. Yeah, Lisa Schwartz. Don't tell me her name's pronounced Lisa now. I won't be able to take it. She's like the well-to-do, super perfectionist sister. And the joke is that she's so good at all of these things, yet she's unable to see. She's blind. And they play that up for cheap laughs so much. This movie, in addition to being really homophobic, really sexist, really racist, is also very ableist. It makes lots of jokes about people with disabilities just because it's a punchline. That's where we're at there. Meanwhile, Shane is at the same train station. But by the way, the shot preceding this was actually, if you watched my recap of the TV show The Chair, you know that a lot of actors didn't want to audition for this because of a scene where a character eats human waste. And that character happens to be a homeless black male in the film. So what? A lot of people had problems with this in the final cut of the movie. A lot of articles were written about it because it's just so tasteless. And it was gross. It wasn't funny. I'm not going to show the joke, but you can guess it's gross. So anyway, more gross stuff is Shane's girlfriend, I guess, whose name I can't remember, but she's blonde and really ditzy and promiscuous. She meets him at the airport and is like, let's go hook up in the bathroom. And so that's what happened.
I don't know if I really want to. You oddly resemble the Alice in Wonderland cat right now.
Like, that joke was just poorly written. Workshop that a little bit, right? Like, you oddly resemble is not well phrased at all. And then it's the Cheshire cat from Alice in Wonderland. Like, you can tell that Shane wrote that one and nobody corrected it. That sounds like something he would say in one of his videos. Anyway, bewilderingly, even though she was just all over him, the girlfriend is actually doing this.
I'm sorry, Scott. It's over.
What?
And I'm already confused, you know, because like Scott, we haven't done anything to establish his relationship with this woman who seems awful right off the bat. Like, and from the minute she approaches Shane, he seems domineered by her. He seems a little put off by her behavior, just like everybody else. But then she breaks up with him, and that doesn't even jive with how she's been behaving, but she says,
No, I really wanted there to be a wall between us when I said this.
she wasn't even planning for that wall to be there. Okay, and he seems so sad about it. Like, he seems genuinely upset, and he spends a good portion of the movie trying to get her back, and it's just unearned. There's no part of this that makes it seem like they need to be together. I don't buy it. It doesn't pan. Go to an acting school. Give me something more. And Shane Dawson said, more? I'll give you more. You want me to play more characters in this thing? And everyone's like, no, we just want you to direct the film properly. You got it. I'm gonna play this girl in a dress.
And I was like, that's the last time I've ever had with the cafeteria lady again. Bye, gross, stupid. Kidding, not really.
So I saw the decision making behind this too. Shane was like, wouldn't it be really funny if I played one of the mean girls and we just beefed up that part a little? And by that, clearly they meant we'll just have him scream aggressively in the middle of sentences. There's like already so many things that take me out of watching this movie. For example, the bad story writing. To see Shane with just a wig lazily slapped on and tight-fitting female clothes, like, you're not even trying to do another character in this. Like, let's look at other people who went into drag to play multiple characters in their movies. Jack and Jill by Adam Sandler. Eddie Murphy in The Clump. You know what I'm saying? They're bad movies, sure, but at least they put on prosthetics and they do a lot to differentiate themselves. This is just him like choosing to put himself in an additional scene because he thinks it'll get more laughs. I'm not laughing. Are you laughing? Anyway, we're at the high school now where his sister, still in her senior year of high school, and this is also where we meet Drew Monson, who's coming back for winter break like everyone else.
I'm gonna be helping your dad out at the vinyl vault this weekend. And it's gonna be tough to box up that whole place by Monday, you know?
Why are you boxing it up?
Cause your dad is closing it down. Which I'm guessing he wanted to tell you himself?
So basically, Scott and his sister's dad owns the Vinyl Vault, which is a record store there in Pittsburgh. Drew Monson's character, his name is Joel, works there. That's all. Just had to establish that for you because it's so important. Let me tell you guys, it's so important later on. Here's Shane being disgusting with his dad character.
Also, I met someone, Anastasia.
A stripper? What? I mean, with a name like that, she's either a Disney princess or a total
Or she's the Tsarina of Russia. That's a beautiful name, Anastasia. Or it's the name of a successful makeup brand that defined eyebrow artistry. It's just like such a dumb joke. It's such a dumb joke. Boo! Dumb joke. So that's the reason the dad gives for selling the vinyl vault. He wants to retire, move to Florida, because the vinyl vaults are doing fine with online sales. Oh, we should look at Tori. She's in her family's home, and this is her gay best friend back in college that she's speaking to.
Girl, why don't you go out tonight? Get your mind off things.
The only way that I could get my mind off things would be to join a cult and get myself brainwashed.
I joined a cult once because they had red tracksuits and I wanted a red tracksuit. The amount of innocent I saw slain is not worth that red tracksuit.
So again, that's just a Shane Dawson joke right through and through. It's like, shh, don't write that joke so long, make it funny. This guy is a good actor. He's probably the most competent comedic actor I see in this. But I really just wanted to show you that he's wearing the same exact scarf that he is in the Facebook picture that we see in the beginning. Why are you wearing the same scarf, bro? What, because he's gay, he wears a scarf? I'm gay, I don't even own a scarf. You know how cold my neck gets in the winter? Blah, blah, blah. There's a scatological joke from the parents there. If you guys watch the full-length movie, you're gonna be like, wow, Nick really glazed over some of the most filthy, disgusting things. And you're right, I did that to help you. I had to watch them. You think I like having things in my brain that I can't forget? So we're at the first big house party of the Thanksgiving weekend. This is where the movie started, where Tori got puked on. Like, the beginning of the movie started with a time jump to a part of the movie that's only 7 minutes in. Like, that's confusing to me. Why do we start at the party just to go to the train station to come back to the party within a span of 7 minutes? Bad writing. But I can't even blame the screenwriter of this script, John Shader, I think, because A, the script was mutilated on set, and then B, the editing was left up to Shane. Here we go.
Thank you, my friend. I hope you're enjoying the delicious libations and jovial atmosphere, huh?
I just threw up in this genie bottle.
It's my grandmother.
Let her out, man! Let her out!
This guy, I don't even know what he's saying.
Delicious libations and jovial atmosphere, huh?
Delicious libations and jovial atmosphere. But he says it to the wall behind him. Also, this character is racist. They had a hard time casting an actual East Asian actor of any type in Pittsburgh. They are lucky to have found this guy. But why? Why do they make it so racist? Why does he have to be that race? And why does he have to have the accent? And joke stolen from Mean Girls or something.
Hey! There you go! Put that down!
So Joel and Tori are at this party. That's Drew Monson's character. They're apparently friends. We're just figuring all this out. There's a lot of characters interwoven here, and the piece was originally meant to be an ensemble piece. But obviously with Shane Dawson starring in it, it's gonna be just starring him, really. This main actress, though, somebody told me in the comments of my other video that she now does anime voiceover. That's cool. Joel is telling Tori how he's still got a thing for Janie.
This is my last shot before she is out of my life forever.
She was not into you in high school. She's not into you now. You know, I feel like it's time we move on.
So that's the first conflict of the movie, is Joel is trying to get Janie. It's his last chance to make it happen, because he's been obsessed with her forever, even though now he's clearly like over 18 and she's not, because of he's been in college. So I don't love that. They don't get too clear on any of these character ages. Try not to worry about it. But I said it before, I'll say it again. Drew Monson is probably one of the funnier actors in this. When he's improvising things, it actually kind of worked. Where everywhere else in the movie that you think they let an actor improvise, you're like, boo, stick to the script. I love booing things now. That's gonna be my new thing. Boo!
Please stop doing that. Did you spit?
Yes.
That's
a little
disgusting.
bit.
Don't. Where did the straw come from?
My backpack.
See, that's solid improv. That was funny. I laughed, and that was it. I laughed once. What's that? You wanted more of Shane's character playing this girlfriend of Janie?
Oh, this party is hashtag lame. I've only been like twice tonight. I mean, what is this, a bar mitzvah?
Come on, where's the funny? When you put it on camera like this and you have the lights and the cinematic framing, it really highlights how it doesn't work. Because it's a film where I want my time to not be wasted, it all reads really flat. Blah, blah, blah. Janie gets a drink knocked onto her by Joel, so they go up to the bathroom to fix it. And Joel decides, he offers to help her study because she's like, oh, you go to Cornell? I could never go to Cornell because I'm stupid. I'm failing a class.
8 o'clock on Friday?
Sounds good.
Good. I think so too, yeah. Okay.
I love the girl who plays Janie. She's so sweet. Her acting is good. Not that I'm like the judge of all acting, you know, I don't know anything. Actually, that's not true. I don't know nothing about acting, okay? I went to NYU Film School. I graduated in 2013. Okay, Sweeney. As far as my directing experience, at work I've directed commercial shoots, short form beauty advertisement. Anyway, that's my credentials. The thing about the main character Tori in all of this is that she fails to be likable the entire time. Like, from the minute she's on screen, I'm like, I don't like your attitude, ma'am. And then she's never nice. She never justifies why she's not nice. She just is never nice. And they all indiscriminately make the rudest jokes about each other. Like this.
This is the first time I've drank, but I feel totally fine.
Oh, you look totally great. Not at all like a rhino who's been shot with a tranquilizer gun.
How dare. And it's also just like such juvenile humor. So Tori gets puked on, so she has to leave the party, and Shane's walking home. I'm just gonna call him Shane throughout the rest of this. You're gonna get it that his name is Scott in the movie. I don't think it matters. So he's trying to reach Heather, who's the name of his promiscuous ex-girlfriend, and this is what happens next. The stars align, fate crosses over.
Look, I'm sorry, but you came out of nowhere. Scott?
Do I know you?
We went to high school together, and middle school, and elementary.
Tori the Hoary?
And we're back.
Why wouldn't you just say your name? Why would you just say 3 types of school you went to together? And also, she looks exactly the same as she did in high school. Like, clearly those Facebook pictures of her in high school were taken the first day they shot this movie. So I don't buy that he doesn't recognize her. I just don't. Also, this is one part where you can really tie Not Cool to Holidaysburg, which is Anna Matremucci's competing film from the reality show. Both involve somebody getting broken up with during a moment of intimacy at the beginning, and this car accident part where they kind of meet. The script makes it out of nowhere seem like Shane Dawson is some heartthrob who everyone was fawning over forever. And like he's cocky and somehow knows about it.
I just need some time to think.
She must be in a weird mental place to dump you, Mr. Perfect with the amazing hair.
Think I have amazing hair?
Oh my god, you know you're attractive, it's annoying.
Does anyone think that he has amazing hair in this? I'm not seeing it. Also, if the character of Scott is such a heartthrob, then why can't they demonstrate that for me in the script? You know, like, why didn't we see a bunch of girls fawning over him and being like, oh, how is college? Why when he got into the train station, weren't there a bunch of girls looking at him or people being like, oh, you look so good? At least then I can understand from, like, in the movie's universe why people are treating him this way. But they don't do any of that to set things up. It's just like, oh, you're so attractive. Tori, from what I can see in this movie as an audience member, is the only person on earth who thinks he's attractive other than that Heather woman who is crazy.
Why are you so mean?
I'm mean? I recall it going a little bit differently in high school.
She's basically is like, you were so mean to me in high school. And again, why couldn't we see that? Why couldn't we get some clue about that? He didn't even recognize her. Why couldn't he have been like, oh, you're that girl that I punched in the face or whatever, you know?
Oh, I was prom king, I'm cool, so that means I'm cool forever. So maybe it's time that you try something new. Try something a little bit different. Because obviously this whole...
They start hooking up right away, and they make out, they fully sleep with one another, and it's like, I didn't read any of that sexual chemistry at all throughout this whole thing, and all of a sudden they're just like, yep, let's go for it. I mean, she kind of let on that she liked him, but I guess I'm just not buying their relationship. It's not exactly Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, if you know what I'm saying. I'm in the deep end, I hate this movie. The next day, basically, Scott's like, oh, like, ooh, I like her, and Tori is like, that was just a game for me, I don't care. I hate everything. It's so tiresome, by the way. I don't think anybody really acts like any of these characters, but if there was ever a person who was just negative about everything and literally had something rude to say to everybody, that's the opposite of the person I would want to be with on my holiday. It's like, I don't see what he sees in her. I don't see what she sees in him. I don't see you. We don't see each other. Janie and Scott, the siblings, they're back at their family's Thanksgiving. This is Thanksgiving Day. By the way, I get it. Like, partying was a big thing over Thanksgiving weekend in my town where I grew up as well. Did you guys have like a big party on the Wednesday before your Thanksgiving? I truly wasn't invited. I would go out to the gay club on that day. Still would choose that over hanging out with anyone from my high school. No offense. Anyway, when we meet up with Janie and Scott, they are at the kids' table for humor purposes.
Hey, I'm sorry you guys got stuck over here.
At least we don't have to sit with crazy Aunt Flo.
Did I ever tell you about the time I got abducted by aliens? Their queen impregnated me, and then it ate its way out of my uterus. Want to see the scar?
See, it's like the kind of humor you would put in your school play. Like if you had to do a skit for a school project, you would be like, and then we'll do this like random thing that's so crazy that people will laugh. It's not funny. You're not funny. I'm sorry you were put in this position that you had to try and read those lines, woman. Also, you can tell this is a character Shane was thinking of playing himself, but for whatever reason, he's not. He plays popular girl who we saw before, and then a bus driver who's crazy that comes up later. And it's like, if you're gonna play the crazy characters, play all the crazy characters. Don't just have one crazy Aunt Linda played by Miss Non-Union Actress over here. That's not fair to her.
You remember Tori the Hoary?
The girl whose pimples used to pop in the sunlight?
It's the Amanda Show. I just got it. I just got what the humor is. It's like all that from early Nickelodeon, like early 90s Nickelodeon. The Amanda Show was Amanda Bynes' sketch comedy show. She would say things like this, like on Moody's Point, they would be like, I wish I was elsewhere. And it was hilarious back then. It sticks out in my mind because I still kind of think it's funny. So I really think Shane is trying to take a lot of that type of humor, which probably has its place in children's entertainment. Like you definitely see some of that going on the Disney Channel. But then he totally fractures the tone by making this the raunchiest comedy that no one's ever wanted to see and marketing it basically towards adult or teen, but teens don't even like this. Like it's not funny. And now with all of the Shane Dawson controversy, people are like, oh yeah, I learned all of this disgusting stuff from watching his videos that I'm now like, why did you say that to children? Same thing. Why are you saying any of this to a child audience? Tell me this isn't something you would see on All That.
I mean, why do I need a doctor to tell me that I'm crazy? I already have the voices in my head telling me that. I can't kill them, they're family.
You know mental illness runs in our family, right?
Hey, as long as baldness doesn't, then I'm fine.
And the Oscar goes to Shane Dawson for that hair flip. Have you ever done that move naturally in your life as long as you've had that haircut, Shane Dawson? No. So why are you busting it out now when you're trying to appear like a human being on camera? Put that move back in your pocket, sir. No one wants to see that. Now we're at Tori's house because she has Thanksgiving with her family too. So remember, she has the overachieving blind sister and her fiance. But then she gets a knock at the door and she goes to see who it is.
What the hell?
We had last night. Did you feel something?
Okay, look, I get it. Your girlfriend dumps you and then you randomly hook up with me. But I think it's best if you just like leave me out of the equation altogether.
So Scott is like catching feelings for Tori and it's really confusing. It's like, yeah, they slept together once and he's like, did you feel something? It's like, who asks that? That's not quite how it works. Scott gets invited inside and they play Dance Central, which I think is a real video game that sponsored this movie.
I will play, but if I win, you have to leave.
But if I win, you have to kiss me.
Sorry, I just had to throw up into that plant. As they're playing Dance Central, and I saw the behind the scenes, they worked really hard to choreograph this, and it never once looks good. It does not come together on camera, I'm just saying up front. They're having a conversation about the game, but really they're talking about their relationship, because they're in front of their families.
Maybe I don't want a partner who's merely average size and pays nowhere close to the attention to detail that one would expect from an aspiring photographer.
Congrats. Guess I gotta go now, right? Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, and literally, this is the first time they mention that Scott's an aspiring photographer. I'm sure of it. I know they don't talk about it once before this. Like, I should have known that he went to photography school. They just dropped it out of nowhere. The next day, Tori picks up Joel from the vinyl vault, and they go to the mall on Black Friday so that Joel can pick out dresses for Janie, because he's gonna surprise her with a dress. Don't buy people dresses. Let them get dressed themselves. Also, I know from watching the behind the scenes, they shot a whole bunch of like crazy chaos on Black Friday, like soccer moms punching each other and ripping stuff out of their hands to get, you know, clothes. They had like a whole big crazy thing planned, but all of it got cut. And I can see why, because already this movie's dragging. Like, I'm only 27 minutes into this piece, and I feel like I've been sitting here for 3 days.
Hey, Tori.
Crazy, right?
Uh-huh.
Coming to your family's dinner last night. I shouldn't have done that. It was inappropriate.
You know what else is inappropriate? Stalking my Instagram account and following me here.
No, I was just taking pictures in the mall and I saw you through the window.
Because that doesn't sound creepy.
They do this a lot, the joke where someone's like, that's not creepy.
It's not creepy at all.
That wasn't weird. You're not making this awkward. We get it. You learned how to use the Italian italics key when you were writing this screenplay. We get it. You know what sarcasm is. We get it. We get it. We get it. It's kind of like, the word that keeps coming to my mind is like easy, low-hanging fruit, lowest common denominator. Not really words you want associated with your directorial debut, I have to say. The screenwriter noticed, we haven't talked about Scott being a photographer once yet, so let's just shoehorn in a whole scene of that.
I like shooting all the Black Friday craziness. For the most part, it's just random people getting tasered.
Would you send these to me?
Black Friday, people don't get tasered that often. They get trampled. So I don't know why he's making stuff up to be funny. Also, if anyone talked to me in the same pretentious way that Scott's talking about his photography, I would knock your legs out from under ya.
You see how that old couple is sitting perfectly right between that trash can and that stained glass window? It's kind of like beauty meets its opposite. Black Friday and everybody's freaking out around them. They found their little place to go and share a kiss.
What are you doing later?
I don't know. Why?
Because we're hanging out.
Boo! That's what won her over. He took a picture of an old lady between a trash can and a window. Also, they showed us all of these, like, I guess funny photos of people getting tased and stuff on the camera, but the way it's framed, it's like mostly her head, and I cannot see what's on the screen of the camera at all. So, God, I hate this movie. I do hate this movie. I rightly do. Speaking of tasers.
Now go continue taking those creepy pictures. Quit stalking me.
Is this guy stalking you?
Now, they went through a lot of trouble casting that guy. I know for a fact, like, Shane was really concerned about casting the right people in these bit parts, and they just, like, it's all so cuttable. It's like, we don't need that. So when Shane meets up, or Scott, sorry, I have to respect the film. When Scott meets up with Tori later, she gives him the F-it list, which is like a bucket list, rhymes, but it's of things to do that are supposed to make him less of a regimented, uptight guy. Which, by the way, he hasn't seemed super uptight in this movie. He hasn't seemed like a heartthrob, but they tell me he is. He doesn't seem uptight, but they tell me he is. He doesn't have good hair, but they tell me he does. It's a lot. They're really asking me to suspend my disbelief in ways that they don't seem prepared to do. So, here we go.
Okay, what is this, some kind of bucket list?
Yeah, except you don't die in it. You're like so regimented. So what I'm gonna do is just loosen you up a little bit.
Oh, he's so regimented. That's interesting. It's like she just decides that he's really regimented and then says it 6 different times the same exact way in the scene. Listen to how many times she says, see, that's your problem right there. You're too serious.
This is what I'm talking about. You're like so regimented. That's what I'm talking about. You're so regimented. You know what? This is exactly what I'm talking about.
You're so regimented. We know. We heard that from you, Tori. Thank you. Why do they have the same line in one scene 3 times in a row? You have to tell me, Shane. You're the one who approved this piece of crap and sat there proud of it. 2 years later, 3 years later, he's still like, it was a funny movie. It's entertaining. It's like, it's not entertaining. It's entertaining that you think it's entertaining. I'm more entertained by the fact that you think any of this was worth showing to the world. So then there's sort of this montage of Shane doing a bunch of dares off of this F-it list. And from the trailer, you would think that this is what the whole movie's about, is like the bucket list, but him doing crazy wacky stuff to get back his ex and falling in love with her throughout the whole time. So you see him, they go to an, what do we call it? Intimate party supply store where they buy a personal device. And they have him almost go to the bathroom on his ex's lawn, which is a really dumb scene that they went out of their way to shoot. Oh, and then they have that scene from the supermarket, which is actually the first clip I ever saw of this movie was on Tumblr as a gift set. And it was like she's hiding a watermelon under her stomach and pretending that she's pregnant, and then she falls and it splatters, and the stupid cashier thinks that the baby splattered. I can't even believe I'm talking about this. Do you guys see me losing the will to live? I'm gonna change the battery on my camera, and then I'm gonna change the battery in my spinal column because I feel stupid. Okay, I'm back, ready for more. Well, God, none of this matters. Tori gives Scott a weed brownie.
I think I'm high.
And then they go about a scene where they're like in the famous Pittsburgh gondola and they're both mooning it, but then this other homeless guy again flashes his genitals out the window, and this shows full frontal nudity. And they had a really hard time casting somebody who would be willing to show their genitals on camera for this. And because it's dumb, no one wants to. See, like, it's not funny. It's not funny to just have an actor going, oh, for no reason, because it doesn't seem realistic. You know what I'm saying? And even crazy people in real life wouldn't be doing that and just not reacting to anything around them. Life is not a cartoon. It's like he wrote this thinking of it as several different skits and not thinking about how it would feel to sit through that whole thing over the course of 90 minutes. It doesn't feel good, it feels bad. When Joel picks up Janie for their study date, he's like in a party bus, and guess who's driving the party bus?
Last thing I want to see is two underage, semi-ethnic looking, possibly Native American teenagers making a mess on my brand new pleather interior.
Not a good look for anyone, but particularly not in this moment. Like, why does he always go for the racial jokes? He brings up several jokes about Janie's race. He says, oh, you're Ecuadorian, but not that nicely. He doesn't say it.
No, you stupid dumb Ecuadorian.
It's cheap humor, to say the least. Look how, I feel like I'm on such a high horse these days. I'm like, film critic of the lifetime. This scene in the gym, this I remember from the behind the scenes, is like the most emotionally important scene of the movie. And I've seen people show more emotional depth while mopping the floor compared to what Shane does in this. But anyway, let's watch it.
Just gave you a plain old brownie. There was no weed in it. And we're even.
Even for what?
Here we go.
Hey, I took that. It's actually one of my favorite shots. I love the way the light hits your hair. See the natural composition, the way
No, that was my life that you were photographing. I mean, do you have any idea when that was taken? The night that who took my virginity decided to stand me up.
I didn't know.
Oh, but you still went and you posted the picture like it's just no big deal. Because you have absolutely no idea what it's like to be a loser.
That escalated quickly. I hate this scene so much. I hate it because all of a sudden it seems like Tori has had some ulterior motive this whole time. She brings out this picture and she's like, you took this picture and it was the worst day of my life. And so I'm like, is that why you were asking him to take a dump on his ex-girlfriend's lawn? Or were you genuinely like that you didn't even think of this until just now? Like, why did they give us no hint that there was any sort of bullying or whatever going on? I guess they want to show that he's self-centered. He was like, oh, the natural composition. And it's like, nobody would think that's a flattering photo. So yeah, I don't buy. All of a sudden she's weeping over this. I actually really like this main actress. She does well with the material. Like, she didn't write these awful words. She didn't direct them into existence, but she did definitely carry her part convincingly. Oh, but you guys will maybe like this. Shane kind of gets into the meat of it all. He gets into why Scott is Scott. And I think Shane put in some little sprinkles of himself in this. So watch, you let me know.
You know what I usually do on Fridays? And then I go to the fridge. And I get a bunch of food and I eat my feelings and I go to sleep. This whole time we've been having this conversation, all I can think about is how happy I am to be in this gym.
So I cut out the part where Shane talks about pleasuring himself for an extended period of time. Like, it's such a bad joke, but again, I couldn't put every joke in here and just bleep them because it's like pointless, but just know that they're there. They're there plus many more. But I thought it was interesting. I actually was interested for a moment when he said, yeah, so I do that every Friday night, then I go to the fridge and I eat my feelings, because I feel like that's something Shane's talked about in certain areas. I don't know where, I've never read it myself, maybe in his book. People talk about him having that sort of emotional eating component to his story. So I thought that maybe was some personal filmmaking there. Joel surprised Janie by bringing the party bus to a fancy restaurant. He had the fancy dress all picked out for her that she had already put on her Pinterest board. Basically, she realizes, oh, he's been doing all of this internet social media research to figure out what I like and make this perfect. So I think this was promising. I was like, okay, good. This arc has like a proper conflict here.
You Facebook stalked me.
What?
Because it's kind of weird that all of your favorite things are the same as mine.
Well, I wanted to give you a special time. Is that a crime? Am I in trouble? Are you gonna...
I said no. I think it's really sweet you tried to impress me.
My first thought there was like, okay, they got over that really fast. Also, if you remember from my previous video, this scene was a point of contention between Shane, who is directing, obviously, and Lauren, who I erroneously called Lori throughout the whole video, the producer, Lauren, about the term Facebook, how often they were gonna bring it up in this. Shane Dawson brings Tori to the stadium, Clippers Stadium, I don't remember what the Pittsburgh Steelers, no, yeah. I don't know. Football stadium, the big one in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we used to come here every weekend. My mom's a big fan, so this is usually the family outing.
Never heard you talk about your mom before. It was Cancer, right?
No, actually, she was a Sagittarius. What's your mom?
Cut that joke out, don't put it in, never write it again, undo it, I hate the way it sounds.
Can we actually skip this whole how did it feel when she died thing? I have done that with so many guidance counselors.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was already getting bored, so I'm really glad that we're moving on.
Yeah, let's just skip the whole movie, actually. Move on that way. Okay, so right after the dead mom revelation, Shane brings up, oh, do we want to do it again?
That is a very impressively smooth segue there, Romeo.
I'd say it's a touchdown.
Yeah, awesome. It's not real without the dance. Okay, there it is. There you go. Yeah, nice.
There are moments, like in that wide shot, where Shane appears to be embarrassed of himself in the movie, but never quite embarrassed of the movie, it would seem. What am I? I don't know what I just said, but I'm pretty sure I had a British accent for a second there. I was like, as it would seem. I can't. This movie is melting my brain. Next, something that I could relate to. I mentioned this before. Do you guys remember the show Degrassi, specifically Degrassi: The Next Generation? It aired on The N. They play the theme song from it in this scene.
Hit it!
Whatever it takes. No, I can make it through.
Degrassi? That was my favorite show growing up.
It was my favorite show growing up too, so I was like super surprised when I first saw that in this movie. I was like, oh, that's relatable. I also watched that show, Shane. I mean, I thought it was like funny that they would put that in. Then all of these problematic videos of Shane came out on Twitter, including one which was like a basically parody of Degrassi: The Next Generation, and they went in on those characters. It was just distasteful. I did not like it. But that theme song just puts me in a good mood, and that was funny, okay? That was funny, I'll admit. I'm proud to say that none of the things that I thought were funny in this ever had Shane in them. So while they were in that like gymnasium, she was like, I think now that you're broken up with Heather, you'll like school a lot more and you won't have an eating disorder when you go back. Great, okay, screenwriting. But Scott doesn't seem so convinced.
Me and you should go on a road trip.
I have classes on Monday.
Come on, we can go somewhere awesome, you know, like Kentucky. You know, you're allowed to have with your dog there.
Ugh, don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. Don't talk about that. Tori and Scott just slept together and then they woke up in the morning as though they just slept in a van all night. Like, wouldn't you go to someone's house, even if you're teenagers? But he wants to go on this road trip. She's like, well, in the gym, we talked about you loving your life all of a sudden magically. I fixed you.
You're not supposed to retreat back to whatever is easy for you.
You weren't that easy. Come on, I was kidding.
No, it's... You know what? It's fine.
So she's like, maybe you shouldn't come to my sister's engagement party. I'm just gonna drive you home. At the Degrassi scene, I probably didn't tell you, Joel tried to kiss Janie, and actually Janie kind of kissed him, and then she like got scared and ran away, and it was like a little awkward, but she kind of explains why. She didn't want to ruin their friendship in any way.
I don't have anyone to talk to.
What are you talking about? You're super popular.
Yeah, with people I'm never going to talk to once I graduate. And for some reason, you like me for who I am.
Okay, I can live with that.
Oh, Joski.
Oh, Jane. Sorry.
That was funny. I thought that was funny because I think that those two actors, they pulled their own weight for sure. Scott is convinced to go to this party that's happening at that same kid's house who was like, delicious libations, which was so bad. I shouldn't do an impression of it either, but there it is. I hate the ableism in this. You know, there's like a lot of stuff that's obviously blatantly homophobic, racist, whatever. Like they waste no opportunity of doing that. But like, why is this funny? And then they later refer to this character as Megatron. Like, it's not funny just because she's in a motorized wheelchair. No one thinks that's funny. I don't think anyone ever thought that was funny. Anyway, he's at this party and then Heather shows up. She like wants to get back with Scott and she basically pushes him onto the bed and like forces herself on him. Meanwhile, Tori's back at her sister's engagement party and she and her sister have this moment together punctuated just by a bad joke.
I was so close to fixing him. He was so close to being
Just like you. It's not your project, Tori. You can't force him to be something he isn't. You just have to accept him for who he is.
God, how do you accept Gil?
I drink a lot. I'm actually not even blind. I'm just in a constant state of blackout drunkenness.
That's not well written either. Blackout drunkenness is not how you would say that if you really think about it. It's like someone needs to workshop these jokes other than Shane. We think you've done enough, Shane. Thank you for turning in your draft. We're gonna burn it and put it in a fire. So as I was saying, basically Shane, again, being the most passive character ever, he's like being pushed onto the bed aggressively by Heather and she's climbing on top of him.
Oh my God.
Which is right when Tori walks in, of course. And it's basically like a recap of her prom photo that Scott took. But anyway, they have a confrontation at the party.
That's not what it looked like. Heather basically me.
Oh my god, she weighs 90 pounds! 87!
That's so problematic because he's like, she took advantage of me, and she's like, well, she's only 90 pounds. It's like, that can still count as that. That can still be assault. Victims can come in all genders. So problematic, all of the jokes. It's not even funny. If it was funny, I would laugh. I am a funny guy. I clearly have laughed during this video, so I'm not just some sort of prude, but tell me I can't find the joke. Jokes where? So she runs home to the engagement party again. There's so many parties. Like, I just realized this whole third act is one party to another at different locations. This must have been so annoying to film. So many different parties and setups.
Scott, what are you doing?
This.
Scott shows up to the party and he buzzes off a chunk of his hair. They get into this in the chair. He's like, oh, I straightened my hair and everyone loved it, so now it's been my thing with my fans, and now everyone knows that I hate my hair and I'm tired of it, but it's my thing, so shaving it off is gonna mean a lot to my audience. And I'm like, what? Are you the only one who cares about your hair? Because I think that's more the case. Even after he shaved his head for this scene in the movie, which like he wanted to hide from his YouTube audience for a long time, he wore a wig for a period of time in his videos to not let out the secret that he had made this movie until he was ready to announce it. That is nuts to me. I'm not wearing no wig for this YouTube channel. I'm sorry, unless it's like, actually that's not true. I'll wear a wig for sure. Just give me a reason. Not for that reason though, not to deceive anyone. Come on, man. I don't think his hair was ever his signature thing. It might have been one of many facades and masks that he used to make himself appear more charismatic and masculine on camera, but it's like a character that he's always been portraying, so a weak sauce. Anyway, this is Shane's most emotional scene where he's on the verge of tears the whole time.
I'm selfish, I'm self-absorbed, and I suck pretty much all of the time. I'm sorry about the prom picture. I'm sorry about Heather, and I'm sorry if I ever made you feel like I was better than you, or that you didn't matter, because you do. So much. I know that hating everything, kind of your thing, but I don't hate you.
I don't hate you either.
Do you love it? Do you love that whole satisfying reunion where they finally kiss at the end? My favorite is when he buzzes his head and whimpers. He goes, oh. Oh, it's so bad. But 100% of people must agree that Shane looks better with his hair shaved like this. They get the invite to go back to one more going away party. This time at the vinyl vault. I always do that. The record store is having a party because they boxed it all up. That was the thing where they cried a little bit. And so here's Shane at the vinyl vault with his new lady.
Oh, come on! It's perfect!
%, that was the worst dance scene I've ever seen put on the screen. It's like already so dark. The extras are basically crowded so far in that you can't even see what their choreography is. They worked on this a lot, you could see behind the scenes, and they never really got quite in sync with it in a way that they could show one long cut where they were doing the same thing. But there's plenty of time for us to put a nice little bow on it, wrapping it up in a message about social media that I didn't know this movie was angling at the whole time. But hey, if that's what you want to give us for the last 30 seconds, I'm just happy to be done with the ride.
Sorry, but the world does not need to know how I feel every second of every day. As soon as we comment on the present, we kind of lose it forever. And the present is where things happen. Sometimes it's difficult, but it's always the place to be. Because life happens in the present.
892, train to Chicago, now boarding.
Oh, that's the end, everybody. They play some bloopers that make this seem like the whole experience was still not that fun. I can't believe how unearned that ending is. They're like, if you comment on something, you're kind of not living in the present moment. And then they go off to their separate colleges. He's happy again as a photographer. So the message was, you don't have to share every moment of your life on social media, which I guess they wrapped it up because the party at the beginning, everyone was tweeting out different things than was actually true. I don't know, man. I just missed that. The story had nothing to do with that. Can we all agree there? Anyway, they might want to not comment on things because it kind of makes the moment go away, but I want you to comment on this video and tell me what you think. Am I crazy, or is this the worst movie that has ever come out? Like, I really hated it. I'm sure there are worse movies, but at least they wouldn't be so offensive. Like, I can't see the value in this whole thing, and to know all of the work that went in behind it, it's sad. But I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments below how you think this affects Shane's prospects as a feature filmmaker going forward. Just want to hear all your thoughts on it. But most importantly, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more clip breakdowns on your favorite creator movies like this. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love for you to click that subscribe button right down there. That way you never miss new videos. I upload 2 new ones every week, so hit the notification bell and you'll be in the know right away. You guys are all the greatest. I will see you next time.